as far as gay marriage goes here in California, do you think that your research has maybe provided some insight to folks making, in terms of the vote? Have you heard from, I mean, I know you've done a lot of interviews recently as this has come on. What's the kind of feedback that you're getting from people? Well, I think a lot of people support, gay marriage because they actually can't see what the problem would be, even for heterosexual opponents. So, and I'm not really clear about that either. I don't really understand what is so threatening about same-sex marriage even for couples who don't believe in it, So, and certainly in terms of how well same-sex couples are doing, who already have legalized their relationship, they're doing very well. So, yeah, it seems to me that a lot of people are supporting it. I don't know what the polls are saying right this second. Well, it's interesting that you mentioned the legalized couples versus non-legalized couples, like couples that have just been together for a very long time. What did your research show in the differences between married gay couples or unioned gay couples and those that aren't? Well, the only difference we found between couples who had legalized their relationship and those who had not was that more couples had broken up who had not legalized their relationships. Couples who had legalized their relationships were similar whether they were heterosexual or same-sex couples. So there does seem to be a difference in breakups. So I think that the implications of that would be that if you had same-sex marriage in every state, then couples would stay together longer. But other than that, the things I mentioned about relationship satisfaction, intimacy, conflict, we actually found that to be as high in couples who had legalized their relationship and those who had not. So it seems like the only differentiating factor is that maybe there's a will to stay together because you've got a legalized union. And with that comes the delegalization of your union if you have to get divorced, like heterosexual couples face. That's right, yeah. Very interesting. I don't know if there's anything else that you want to touch base on regarding your research or, what you've been hearing from your colleagues in, LGBT studies community. Yeah, I mean, I think it'll be interesting to see, what happens. I think first of all, what was interesting to me is, Massachusetts had limited marriage only to couples who live there. As soon as California legalized same-sex marriage, they lifted that ban because they could see the positive effect it would have on the economy, which I thought was very funny. So, they too wanted those tourist dollars coming in. And I think there's been a lot of economies, and I've read about them in the local paper and so on. But in terms of research, it's a great area to study because it is so new. So it's wonderful to be able to be at the very beginning looking at what happens when laws change and how that affects people's behavior and relationships and so on. Well, thanks so much for your time, Esther. I really do appreciate it. And thanks to all of you for joining us for this podcast on gay marriage with SDSU Viewpoints. Thank you. Thank you.